Let me tell you what problem you are facing when you are trying to reinvent your language and you're trying to imbibe language enrichment thing in your communication. It is very easy to imagine that you want to enrich your language, but somewhere it is as complicated as you think it is easy. Because when you speak, no matter how hard you have tried, but at the outcome level, when you just see that you are although trying to create some difference, but it is happening so much fast into the brain when you are talking to people, that in the fraction of second it is next to impossible to speak in an enriched language. So how you are going to do that in that fraction of second in which all the thoughts are getting processed, and you want to create the difference in the delivery that is finally made out of you. As you are doing all those collections from you made some collection of special sentences, you have got some vocabulary in your treasure of that vocabulary bank, and you are getting engaged with pi as well nowadays, like you are getting a conversation partner. So in that sense, if I just say, you have created the environment that is ideally good, right? Very good. So you may be developing a sense of faith inside you. When you have created an environment around you, you are spending quality time with pi, having that conversation and trying to understand the difficult or that outstanding or that beautiful language pi speaks. You are trying to have some conversation with your colleagues like Sohail and Anand as well, and you are trying to bring in all those vocabulary and special sentences from the treasure you have been maintaining for a long while. But still, if you just see and look within you, you would find that the outcome that is coming is not satisfactory. You find a kind of disappointment, although I am doing, but the language is more or less same as the language I used to speak earlier. Little accent has changed or improved. I hardly use one or two words in 5 to 10 sentences, but the radical shift is missing. Okay, you agree to that thing? Yes. So now question is how to do this in that fraction of second. Okay, so here my point that I'm going to make for you both is that you are missing out on something very major and very important. You want to look at yourself as he or she instead of I. Okay, you don't want to look at yourself, I am trying hard, I am engaged in so many things. Forget this. You have been missing out on analyzing the output you produce. Whatever the language is coming out of you, whatever the sentences you are uttering or delivering, are the sentences that are going completely unanalyzed, that are completely ignored. If I talk about the analysis part, so you unknowingly are rushing to gather or collect a lot of ingredients and the information, but hardly making any time to sit with your output and the outcome or the delivered statements or the sentences during some conversation, and taking time to reinvent them. So what is happening here? I just gave the example of tea. I repeat it, that when you want to make a tea, the tea is not made when you put the tea, baby Tata, Taj Mahal, milk, water, sugar and ginger. You put this in some pan, you mix those things with a spoon by stirring it. Is the tea made like this?
No.
It is not made like this. Although all the ingredients are beautifully mixed, the tea is made through a boiling process. Okay, and the way or the longer you boil it defines the taste you have, okay, or the people experience. So in the same manner, you want to go through the boiling process. What is the boiling process here when you want to work on your language enrichment thing? When you are doing some conversation with somebody, let's call it very organic conversation, talking with somebody, you want to secretly place your mobile here in your pocket with your recording on and do that conversation, whether it goes half an hour, 15 minutes or whatever. And later on, try to spend some time with that conversation, listen to your audio, then sentence by sentence you want to package your content, you want to reinvent your sentences, and then do that beautiful work in alone in secret, okay, with your statements and your sentences. You're each sitting with your old conversation, and sometimes during a video when you are doing some meeting with your colleagues, in that video conversation also you record that video. Someone can record and share it with somebody else, and then you all analyze only your sentences. Of course you can analyze other sentences as well, but for practice only. But your own sentences are more important, because these are the sentences that need to be reanalyzed and re-understood. So in that way, what is going to happen when you analyze the language you have spoken, that it means you are working on the output and you are reinventing that. So now somewhere you understand what you want finally and what you are producing. So in that sense, because this output that you are going to analyze if you go through this process is presently completely under your blind section, because we are working on collecting and gathering the ingredients, but not making time to sit patiently with our statements, our conversations, to reinvent them. So as you were
So basically, you are saying we want to compare our old conversation with the new one, or how we can do the
you don't have to
improvisation.
compare, you don't have to compare, you have to just get obsessed and passionate about reinventing your outcomes.
So reinvention can also, like, I want to say this thing in a different way. This is something I want to discuss. So to say it in a different way, I'm thinking, and you just said it ki you will not analyze ki how much time I am taking. It is already coming into my mind before speaking. So reinvention is one thing, and so leave it. I have to think how to say in a different way. So my point is, yes, we want to reinvent our sentences just by observations and doing a lot of analysis that what we have spoken.
Not a lot of analysis. Okay, let me make it little simple as well. It's just about creating a difference. You want to break your patterns. There can be a number of ways of saying something, but you want to break your pattern of saying that thing.
Okay, got it.
Okay, like for instance, I'm saying this thing that you want to break your pattern. So your job is to change this statement in different style, in different way. The pattern has to be broken. Okay, there is a big need to break the pattern that is running inside for long. So what is being done by you, that you are actually breaking the pattern that you have been following, and you are coming up with something that you have never been following. So in that way, what is happening, you are giving different experience to your mind. Okay, and when your mind will consistently have different experience through reinventing, it will want to adopt it, embrace it, and relish it and practice it, and then gradually you'll find it is becoming an integral part of your personality. Now analyzing, because you know only this thing is happening unknowingly, that these statements that are getting uttered and delivered by you or out of you are going ignored. Okay, but when you go through this process, gradually they will be understood even before they come out of your mouth. And because you have practiced this reinventing process of your language, you will find that this process has started taking place even before you speak. And your mind will immediately, जैसे मैं बोल रहा हूँ, and your mind will immediately, अब ये जो मैंने बोला ना immediately, ये बोलने का स्टाइल मेरे माइंड ने अंदर ही अंदर ऐसे चेंज कर लिया कि जितनी देर में अगला सेंटेंस निकल के आएगा वो रीइन्वेंट हो जाएगा।
Sure.
ये मेरे माइंड ने खुद ही फिगर आउट करा है कि तुझे रीइन्वेंट भी करना है, तो इसलिए इमीडिएटली को थोड़ा सा नॉर्मल के बजाय चेंज करके बोल दे। एंड दैट्स हाउ यू डेवलप योर ओन स्टाइल। सो your mind is superpower. Will create something that has never been created in this world before in your life. And that's how you make your unique identity in the conversation, in the way you speak. And this is something worth doing as well. This is something worth doing. Sitting with yourself, your statements, your audios and your videos, let's say even if you have to sit for 5 months, you are going to become an incredible piece afterwards. And this thing for the rest of your life. So it would be highly rewarding thing for you. एंड सारे काम आराम से ही होते हैं। अगर अच्छी हेयर स्टाइल भी चाहिए तो जल्दी जल्दी नहीं आती है, आराम से बालों को बनाना पड़ता है, तब जाके एक हेयर स्टाइल आती है। Okay, so you want to understand this very fairly, that in this way, when you have to make it a habit, in my point of view, please don't go with intensity, go with consistency. So make it a habit that you will not reinvent 100 sentences in a week. You just say, I will reinvent only 10 sentences of mine. Okay, then 10 sentences of mine. Let's say in just 1 week you reinvent 100 sentences. Okay, not in a day. In 1 week you will reinvent 100 sentences of yours, and you will find that only all the 100 sentences you are not going to reinvent. Some sentences have to be spoken the way they have already been spoken. Okay, so out of 100 sentences, when you are going to reinvent them, you will find that you reinvented only 50 sentences. 50 are as it is. Okay, then next week 100, the next week 100. So in that sense, you will find that something has started shifting, and it will become the integral part of your personality. You are going to fall in love with the way you speak. You are going, because now you just see your language even before it has been spoken. Okay, any questions on this?
It is clear.
Okay, so here
Sir, here is one question. Sir, when we give our statement, when we record our statement, so we took one sentence. We pick up one sentence from that statement. So there could be many sentences, many different sentences on that which we can make. So we should try to make 3-4 sentences on the single sentences, or only.
A very good question. So I appreciate this. Okay, कितने तरह के बंगाली रसगुल्ले होते हैं? बताइए।
Multiple type, in the multiple
Multiple,
color.
है ना? कलर वाइज आप बताओगे। पिंक देखा है, नारंगी देखा है, व्हाइट देखा है, ब्लैक देखा है, आपको कौन सा पसंद है? व्हाइट पसंद है। तो जब आप वो सेंटेंस बनाओगे ना 4, उनमें से जो आपको पसंद हो, दैट इज योर सेंटेंस, दैट इज योर स्टाइल. So breaking your pattern and creating something that you love will give you your style, and doing all this with the help of the treasure you have been making for long, not with empty mind. Keep your vocabulary, keep your special sentences, and learn more too. Use things that you are learning with Pi. So using your treasure to reinvent, using your art, using your skills to reinvent, and then keeping one, falling in love with the one that tastes the best to you, not to somebody else. Because you must relish the language you speak, and when you relish it, others also too. Anything else? Good question. And good answer too. हो गया?
Can we stop recording?
हाँ, इसको रोक दें.